Hey everyone, welcome back to the Vision podcast, and I'm back with Vertical Vision with actor Mr. Justin Stanek. How are you, Justin?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Can I just first of all ask you to just introduce yourself and a little bit about your background?
Yeah. So my name's Justin Stanek. I'm an actor, singer, model, anything really. Yeah, I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania, and I moved to LA to pursue acting full time, and yeah, it's been great so far. So I'm happy to be here.
So, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is where
hmm
you grew up. Education and training in the creative arts was a big thing for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, I let's see, my oldest brother, because I'm one of six kids.
Okay.
My oldest brother was into musical theater, and so when I was younger, I mean, I was always kind of a performer. Originally, I wanted to be a gymnast. Actually, I really wanted to go to the Olympics. Um, and so I like loved that kind of aspect of it was like the performing. And then I saw my brother in his high school musical and I was like, I really want to do that. And my sister did it as well. And it just was kind of like a combination of both singing and acting, which just kind of felt right. And so yeah, luckily I have parents who were like also theater nerds. And they kind of allowed me to do that around town. Yeah, my first musical was a musical called A Pocket Full of Rhymes, which is like based on Mother Goose's nursery
Mhm.
rhymes, and yeah, it was a great, but I loved it. I loved it. I ended up like having a show on my birthday, and it was like the best thing in the world. So yeah, I kind of just couldn't get enough, and I took classes all throughout, um, like middle school and high school. Um, yeah, at least in my home. So.
Yeah. Um, so you said you first wanted to be a gymnast.
Mhm.
Tell us about that. How did that go? And did you?
Yeah. So I think I was inspired by like a lot of people. I don't know. It would have been the 2012 Olympics. Whenever
Yeah.
they had like the Fab Five, like with like Gabby Douglas and like Aly Raisman, um, I had already like just like growing up, my parents like put me in gymnastics class because that was just like something to do, and I ended up being really good at it, and yeah, so I ended up like training at like a gym for a while, and I really wanted to do that, and then one day at practice, I like sprained my ankle pretty bad doing like my floor routine, and I had to take some time off, and it was just like it was a lot. It was like far away from. It was like probably like an hour away in Ohio that my mom would have to take me like every week, and yeah, so I kind of traded one dream for another.
So before you moved into this industry, the creative industry, apart from gymnast, was there any other jobs or paths you considered?
Um, yeah, so actually, I if you don't know this, I didn't either, but in the US it is like musical theater school and theater school in general is like highly competitive to get into. Like I mean, out of however many thousand applicants, like they take, maybe 12 to like 20 students, which is kind of like crazy. Um, and like my senior year, or I guess junior year when I started applying to schools, I was like, oh, I think I want to go for theater, um, or musical theater more specifically. And I just applied to like two schools that I researched and thought they were good, and which was Penn State and Carnegie Mellon. And I passed the pre-screen for both, and then I didn't realize like the actual auditions for those are so so cutthroat. Like people hire coaches, they've been working for years on their rep, and I'm like, I like got there, I was like, I'm not prepared for this. Lo and behold, I didn't get in, and so I kind of was like, oh, I guess that's like maybe my sign that I shouldn't go to college for this. And my plan with my parents was like I was going to take a gap year, and kind of figure it out. And then the pandemic hit. So I was like, well, there's no gap year to really take if I can't do anything. Um, so I had gotten into Penn State academically, and funnily enough, I mean, like if everyone in my personal life knows I'm like addicted TikTok, which is bad. I need to stop it. But I saw a TikTok that was like, "This is your sign to go to Penn State," and it was just like a bunch of videos, and I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'm going to Penn State." And so I thought that kind of like journey had like ended for me. Um, I obviously like planned on, keeping being a creative in my life, but then my sophomore year, the Office of like Career Placement had sent out an email about like a Penn State commercial. So I had auditioned and booked it, and like played every time on national television, like that Penn State's football team played. Like it played at like my graduation too, which was cool. But anyway, that was like a reminder that I like didn't like it was attainable, and I didn't wanna end it. I didn't want to give up on that. And so I started. I took some like acting classes like through Penn State, and then also just started doing a bunch of student film. So just my introduction to film, actually. And it really like I love like on camera work. And so yeah, that's kind of how I like transitioned from being like a theater nerd to to on screen.
Okay, so we'll get into the television and the verticals down the line.
Yeah.
You've worked here across theatre, music, film, and television. What was your first creative love? Was it theatre?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's probably theater, but like maybe just like in general, like I would take voice lessons. Well, kind of take voice lessons, so that like we'd have recitals and stuff. So I guess maybe that would be my first time like actually like performing for people. But yeah, like definitely theater was my introduction to that world.
So you performed in theatre productions of West Side Story, Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction when you landed those roles? Because they're big shows.
Yeah. So I did Mamma Mia at a theater close to Pittsburgh called Newcastle Playhouse, and I was Sky, which is that's such a fun role. I was like maybe freshly 18 and did have to get like stripped down on stage to my underwear. My mom was like, "What is going on?" Which was fun, but it was like I mean I grew up watching that movie, like the movie of it,
Yeah,
and so it was very cool to like do the stage production, um, and like kind of have an introduction to like um, doing it multiple times a week. Whereas like my high school, you have like one weekend of a show and that's
yeah.
that. And then West Side Story actually, there was an initiative in my hometown where they were trying to start a conservatory called Chrysalis, and so they had opened that up in our like kind of downtown area, and we kind of like it was like a semester thing. So you auditioned for the show, and then you'd work on all of that, and kind of were able to teach technique through also rehearsing for the show. So yeah, I was Tony in West Side Story, which is literally one of the most vocally demanding roles I've like. It's so scary even thinking about it because like there's videos of me that I do not want on the internet. But I will say I grew so much as a performer, like vocally and like acting wise, just because I mean the material is so like beautiful, but there's also so many undertones. And I worked with a great like our acting coach. His name is Chris Clavelli, and he actually is the one who ended up getting me signed to my first agency. He just like I don't know what it is about his teaching style, but it was like clicked for me, and it made me just like fall in love with it all over again. Yeah.
So during that stage of your career, how important was the theatre community? Because theatre community in every show I've seen or I've heard people talk about they always talk about the cast, the backstage. It's a
Mhm.
community. It's not just you on stage. It's all of you.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what I love about like pretty much all creative fields. I mean, you like become a family.
Yeah.
And what was really cool too is they had brought in some like professional, because I did West Side Story in high school. They brought in some professional people to like perform with us, and it just kind of like again gave you like a sense of like this, like real people do this, like it's possible. Um, and even like you think about high school, like it was like do or die. Like this was
Yeah.
Broadway, you know? This is there was no way I'm gonna mess this up. So like, and also my school, it was very cool because like a lot of people from all different aspects of social circles would do
Yeah.
the musicals and stuff, and yeah, it was just like it was just awesome. You got to learn so much about all these people, especially like when you're leading up to the show and you have like Tech Week and all that. Like you're going through it. You're going through it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like a shared, it's just a shared experience, and you get so close with everyone. So,
How did theatre shape you into the performer that you are today?
mm, I think theater instilled a a very strong work ethic when it comes to just like performing in general. I think theater is one of the hardest things you can do, especially because if you're comparing it to film, like you have technically infinite tries to get it right. Whereas like with theater, you only have that, one time that you're doing it. And it's, granted, like
Yeah.
you perform it multiple times, but you kind of have to have that technique that you can rely on
Yeah.
to be able to get it right as many
Definitely.
times as you can, because people are paying for a show and you want to give them what they're expecting at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did your experience in theatre prepare you for on-camera work?
I actually like, I think on camera work for me just came a little bit more naturally. I think theater, it's, you're performing for an auditorium. You
Yeah.
have to be bigger and larger than life. And so I think in a way, theater, because acting is like, to me, very inherently embarrassing. Um, when you think about it, like, you're such a little, like, you're just like playing pretend in front of people and like
Yeah.
doing weird stuff that, like, you know, you
Yeah.
wouldn't normally do in front of a camera and like 20 crew members. Um, but theater, you have to, be larger than life, at least in like your expressions and everything. And so I think, especially like my theater training, like it's cool to be silly. It's fun to be silly. It's like there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So when I did start transitioning into film and TV, like it was definitely hard to like unlearn that. Just because there's more nuance, like the character, or the camera's right here, and you're not performing for the person at
Yeah.
the back of
Yeah.
the theater. So that was definitely like some of the notes that I would get when I first started out was like, hey, I can tell you grew up in theater. You don't need to do that much.
Okay. So you transitioned, like you said, from theatre to short films at first.
Mhm.
How did that shift happen?
Yeah, so like I said, I like booked a Penn State commercial, and it was like a super high budget commercial, so like the cameras with cranes and stuff, and I just like loved the energy of like that set. Um, and which little sidebar, I like had booked the role of like greenhouse student, which I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like I get a name, that's wild. We like shot overnight for like 5 hours, like a random greenhouse on campus, and I was like, this is so cool. Like all the producers and everything, like this is our favorite shot. Like we're super excited about it. I'm in the commercial for like maybe a second. It's so funny how like that's how like film works. But anyway, that was just like such a great experience, and um, yeah, again, started like auditioning for short films, and just kind of getting comfortable with a set. Because I mean, there's a lot to learn. You really like find it once you do film, you find an appreciation for everything that you watch. Because most of it, I mean, if you're one camera, like you're shooting a scene over and over and over and over and over again, and people don't know that watching it because it just looks like it's all
Yeah.
happening at once. You know, you got to get coverage and you got to learn what a C stand is, and you know, you're saying crossing as you're crossing the camera, so things like that. And I think it was a great way to transition into to film. My junior year, I worked on a senior thesis film with my now friend Kat, and like that was just like it was a year long process. Um, and I had gotten cast as the lead, and yeah, it was awesome. We went on a little festival run and won some awards, and that really solidified it for me. Where I was like, I need to keep doing this. So I had called my acting teacher from high school, Chris Clavelli, who I was talking about that summer when I got home, just to kind of catch up. And he was like, "So what's up?" And I was like, "I just don't think I can give acting up." And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "So are you thinking of trying to get signed?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, obviously, but I don't know how to go about that." And so he was signed with an agency in Pittsburgh and had kind of put in a good word for me, and I ended up getting signed that summer. And yeah, from there I did a lot of like commercial work, modeling work, and then eventually like booked a guest star role on like true crime TV show, and that kind of like brought me to where I am now. But it was very cool. I got to travel to New York City for that, and yeah, it was great. It was great. And then I moved out here, and it's been awesome since then. So
So now we are going to talk about that documentary that you've starred in.
yeah.
I'm a fan of documentaries and I'm a fan of true crime documentaries. So
Hmm.
it's an experience to talk to someone who's done like, the reconstructions or that sort of like type thing, because you don't really get to hear their side of the story and all
Yeah.
that. So what was it like getting that call, first of all?
Um, so I was actually on set of a modeling gig actually. But we were on a break, and I was getting a call from New York, and I was like, I said to my friend Christian, I was like, "Uh-oh, New York's calling, they want me," like as a joke, and I was like, "Should I answer it?" And he's like, "Yeah, why not?" Because normally I do not answer phone calls if I don't know who it is. And it was the casting director of Evil Lives Here, The Killer Speaks, and he had offered me the role, and yeah, that was awesome. When I auditioned, like obviously they don't really tell you who you're going to be portraying.
Yeah.
And honestly, for most of those, I was expecting to not have any lines and it just be like a reenactment. But there was a couple scenes which was great. So when I found out who it was, they had sent me kind of like the initial like episode, like without all of the scenes that they'll fill in
Yeah.
after we shoot. And so, yeah, it's weird to play a killer, which, I guess also like it wasn't necessarily like the most high stakes set. It wasn't like I'm not gonna get an Oscar for this. So it was like a great experience to like kind of like learn. Um, yeah, so I just kind of like try to approach it in the mindset of like I you kind of have to empathize, which I mean, objectively is not correct, but like as an actor, you kind of have
Yeah.
to. And yeah, I also had to like cut my hair super short for it, so it kind of like got me into like a different headspace, and just like talking with my co-star who played I had portrayed Brandon King, and he had like I guess trigger warning, murdered his girlfriend and her children, which I didn't have to do. I didn't have to reenact any of
No,
that,
you didn't.
thankfully. So it was more so just kind of like the relationship between him and his sister, because he like she did everything for him, and he kind of betrayed her. And so those scenes were kind of like it was more so that like more so being like I'm hiding something from you, or like I like I did something wrong and I might lose you. So that's kind of where I was trying to approach it from. But yeah, I mean again like all TV film usually like we shot a lot more than got aired. But it was a great experience. And I had a lot of my mom's friends
Mhm.
being like, "Oh my God, I watched that show." So
So before you had the phone call, before you got any of the research, did you know about the case before the documentary?
I didn't. I didn't.
Neither did I. Neither did I. Until
Yeah,
I watched the documentary, I had no idea about it.
yeah, and it's really heartbreaking, honestly. But it was also too like they have like the audition for that, which my mom was my reader back when I lived in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So she was my reader for that, and yeah, it was. She's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "What are you auditioning for?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. She's like, "Well, I think you need to play nice because you're a nice boy." And that's always her thing. I'm like, okay, well, that's usually probably not how it's gonna go because I do find myself getting typecast as like, the jerk, the bully, most of the time. So
Okay. So just finally on that project, I don't want to dwell too much on it because of
yeah,
the subject and everything. How did you switch off at the end of a filming day? She must have had to be in that mindset of that person you were portraying.
yeah. Also, there was some like I said, there was a scene that got cut that was like pretty physical. It was like me getting arrested. Um, it was like I never really have trouble doing that, like separating myself from a character. Um, but I like to just like kind of listen to music. We had shot in Jersey, like across the river, so I like had wrapped early my first day, and was just taking the Amtrak back over, and or maybe it was a bus, I'm not sure, but I ended up going to see like a Hadestown on Broadway that night,
Yeah.
just because like I randomly like found so like doing something for myself like that usually is nice. But most of the things I've had to play, other than that role, have been like fine. I've never really had like too much of an emotional like visceral reaction.
So later in 2025, you entered the vertical space with a supporting role in the Cheer scandal.
Hmm.
Were you familiar with verticals before joining that world?
Um, yeah. So if anyone listening is like
Mhm.
in an area that isn't like LA, New York, London, um, there's really not a lot of like professional work acting wise that goes on, especially for film and TV. So like I think the only thing that like I auditioned for back when I lived in Pittsburgh that was like big was like the Superman movie, like a one-liner in a Superman movie. Um, so like it really is like self-submitting yourself because my agents were only able to like submit me for like that Pennsylvania area market.
Yeah.
Um, so those kind of started to like pop up around that time, like summer of 2024-ish.
Yeah.
So I had auditioned just because at the time also I didn't know what they were, and it did say like mini series or something in the description. Like it wasn't like vertical short form
No,
like
it's
it is
not.
now. So I had, and also it's like, oh, like travel covered to Los Angeles for production.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I would love to go to LA and like work for it. Um, so I had auditioned for the Candy Jar team actually like a couple times for a couple different things. Just when I lived uh, when I lived in Pittsburgh. Just kind of by coincidence, I really kind of lucked out. And then yeah, I had moved to LA in August of 2025, the end of August. And I forget why exactly. I had to be clean shaven for something, which I think it worked out in my audition because obviously like I had to be like a high schooler, and I don't I don't love being clean shaven. Um, but yeah, I had just gotten the audition for Pug in the Cheers scandal, and it was like 3 lines, I think. It was like, and those are the worst auditions. They're the worst auditions because you're like, what do I even do with this? Like, one of the lines is like, yeah. So I'm like, well, okay, what am I? So what I like to do a lot in auditions is just kind of like ad lib some stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it stand out as an actor, and also kind of gives you some like free reign to like make it your own. Um, so I forget exactly what I did, but yeah, I just had sent in that audition, and I think I was talking to the producer Maya when we rapped, because we had like a rap party, because it was just again, it's so similar to theater. Like these verticals, you get like 5 days of just like you're stuck together. But we got so close, and so we ended up having a cast party, and yeah, the producer Maya was like, yeah, we had like about like 600 auditions for Pug, and yours just kind of stood out because yeah, I booked off the tape, so it was great. It was great, and I got to work with some, like, again, I didn't really know much about the vertical space, but like Kira Wisely and like Nick Skonberg, like um, one, great actors, but also like they have a lot of say in the vertical space, which is cool.
Yeah. So rivalry is a theme in that vertical, and acting can also be a competitive industry.
Yeah,
You just
definitely.
said that you beat over 600 auditionees for the role of Pug in the Cheer
Hmm.
scandal. So rivalry has been a big part of your journey from theatre to TV to verticals, probably, yes?
Yeah, yeah. I think, I mean, like, I've never. I guess maybe rivalry isn't like the best word for it, but yeah, I mean, there's competition, and I think that's kind of what makes it interesting. I'm a very competitive person, but also I'm like, obviously, like there's like jealousy of like if people are getting auditions for like bigger things, or like get a role that you really wanted, and but you can't let that like get to you at the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I just yeah I stay in my lane, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm the type of person where it's like what's meant for me will never pass me by. I've been really leaning into like that type of like talk recently. I did some background on the like a friend's horror feature that was shooting in like Santa Clarita, and there was another girl. Her name's Grace. She's a pretty successful comedian. She's hilarious, but like we were just waiting around like in holding, and she was like, "Can I like read your?" I forget what tarot card. She like did a tarot reading or something for me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, of course." Because I mean, like I'm not I don't know too much about that stuff, but I'm always so interested in it. And she was like, "I'm getting the sense that you always like jokingly self-deprecate. Like you need to stop doing that because like your words have meaning." And
Mhm.
that was like kind of like right when I moved here as well. And I was like, oh man, like you're right. She's like, if you ever say something that you don't mean, where it's like, oh, like I suck or whatever, just to say like, I cancel that, or like I didn't mean that. And it kind of like resets your brain too. It's like I've been just in such a big positive mindset that I feel like I'm just like welcoming all the opportunities that are coming my way. So sorry for that little side tangent, but
No,
I
that's
literally have
fine.
shared that story with anyone who will listen, because it really has changed my life, that outlook. So
Yeah. So let's move on to next door,
hmm
the BL vertical that so many people are talking about. I've not stopped seeing it on Instagram, like the stories and stuff like that, and scrolling through TikTok as
yeah.
well. So going from a supporting role in the Cheer scandal to a lead role in Next Door, it
hmm
does bring a level of intensity, because I've spoken to different vertical stars who've done supporting and then gone to leading. So how long was the shoot for Next Door?
5 days. Yeah,
Right.
it's a 5 day shoot. So
So you being a lead, you're on set all the time.
yeah, yeah.
How did that shift feel for you from the Cheer scandal supporting role to the lead role in Next Door?
Um, it definitely felt like a lot more pressure. I also had to have my shirt off at different times. So like I was trying to like make sure I was in good shape. I also like didn't book river. I want to say it was like 5 days before, so I didn't really get a lot of like prep time, and I think that's kind of pretty normal within
Yeah.
like the vertical space. So you don't really get a lot of prep time. You have an exorbitant amount of lines every day, but I will say it's like, I mean, at least with the team that I worked with, like our director Caroline Plyler, she is like the best, and she just like there's a scene the like when River's in his room and then like Kit comes in and like I'm in like a towel. Um I don't know what it was, but I could not get those like could not get those lines. Like I knew them, but I just like kept messing it up and like I could well I was getting annoyed with myself, so I'm sure that everyone was probably annoyed on set. But she was just like so she's like, you're fine, it's okay. Like, you're staying in it, like don't worry about it. But yeah, I think also like the amount of like eyes on me is obviously a huge step up from a supporting role. I mean, I like there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I didn't even know." Like, I watched the Cheers scandal, I didn't even know you were in it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome." Um, but yeah, I think I wouldn't have done it, wanted to do it a different way, if that kind of makes sense. Especially because like I had never been on a vertical set before that, and like also like candy jar verticals are like very high, like they're high budget, they're high quality. They have
Yeah.
like great crews, and everyone knows what they're talking about. So I think, but also you only have one and two takes to get it right. Um, so I think it was kind of like a nice introduction to have that like Pug and the Cheers scandal, like get through that and then know what to expect once I got to River. Yeah.
How surprised have you been with your reaction to Next Door? How surprised is that, like the popularity that has come from that vertical?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think okay, I was just like you could feel that it was like there was going to be something special. Like especially like once we got to I think it was like Wednesday of like we shot Monday to Friday. I think Wednesday we shot like the party scene and it was just like oh, it was so fun. Like it just felt like this is like it's solidified like this is going to be something special. And I think what surprised me most is like the amount of people. I mean, I think one of the episodes on the candy jar Instagram got like 17 million or probably something more views, and I'm like the fact that that amount of people have seen my face is just like a weird concept. And now also like there's like edits being made of me, which is like weird to be like scrolling on my For You page. I'm like, oh, there's me without my shirt on. That's so great. But it's been great. Like I have not had a single, or at least I haven't seen a single like bad thing about the project, and I'm just so like I'm really proud of it. Really proud of my performance. I'm really proud of like what it means. Um, just in general, especially like with what's going on in like America right now and our like current political climate, and it just is nice to be part of something that just it's so sweet, it's such a sweet story. And
It is.
yeah, I think that's also kind of like what I was really excited about when I read the script, was it was just like a sweet story. Because like I mean, I'm sure like a lot of verticals can be like overly sexual or like really clickbaity, and like for me it really did feel like just like a short or like a film that I would watch normally. And I think that has a lot to do with the team that was on it. But yeah, I'm really proud of it.
I think it stands by itself as a brilliant BL vertical, really, because it's a
Hmm.
different story. It's not like enemies to lovers. It's not that sort of trope. It's you were friends, you weren't friends, and now you're like closer than ever than friends. That's how
Yeah.
the story came through. I will talk about Sophie as well because she is hilarious in
Oh,
Next
I
Door.
love Sophie. I love her.
She is amazing, and her comedic timing is just
Perfect. Oh my
brilliant.
gosh.
Yeah,
If I was ever like off camera and I was watching, I would have to look away. She is so funny and so talented. Oh my gosh. I love her.
yeah.
Yeah. She,
So, go
our
on.
first day on set, we were at lunch and like, obviously you don't really know these people. Anytime I get a call sheet, I'm stalking everyone on Instagram. But I forget what we were talking about, but I called her Sophie Stone. And she did not correct me. Literally had her in my phone as Sophie Stone, and I forget what I was like. Later that week, I was like, "Oh, like Sophie Stone." She's like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Wait, is that not your last name?" No, she's like, "No, Sophie Steele." I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." But yeah, she's the best.
Yeah. You starred opposite Nicholas, your fellow
Hmm.
lead. You haven't been in verticals for that long, so you probably didn't know him before filming began.
No, no. Which it is so like random because again, like I said, I stalk everyone on Instagram
Yeah.
before I get on set, and so we had like one stunt rehearsal before the week before we shot to work on that kind of like Darius River
Punch.
kit like punch.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was like, I saw his Instagram. We had so many mutuals, and I was like from my hometown, and I'm like looking back. He went to like the performing arts school that's like closest to my hometown. So like one of my best friends, like sister went there. My really good friend growing up, Leo, like knew him. I was like, oh, this is like crazy. Um, that we're like both from like middle of nowhere Western PA, and we both end up in this show. So
So River and Kit clearly have a deep history,
mhm.
past history, and many viewers have their own interpretation of who fell first between you two, like in the vertical. What would you say your take on that dynamic is?
mm, I mean, I think it could go either way. At least in my mind, in my interpretation of River, like he always had a feeling that there was something there, but it was like we're not going to acknowledge that. We're not going to acknowledge that. And I think because I have talked to some people and being like, oh, like River was super. You could tell that he was just like into Kit from the kind
Mhm.
of from the beginning, and it was just kind of conversation that Caroline and I had where it was like he's made that decision that he he likes him and he doesn't really and
Yeah.
yes there's an ulterior motive, yes there's the guitar lessons and all that, but it's
Mhm.
like he's ready to like be himself, and also he's just a flirt, like he does that with everyone. He's just he loves to, that's how he gets his way. He just flirts his way through every situation. So
But he's also got to keep that image up, hasn't he? Like the baseball player image that he's got to
exactly,
keep
exactly.
at the forefront, really.
Yeah, yeah, and especially like with his mom and everything. And I think that's another thing where it's like Rivers just like a caring person and like a thoughtful person. So it's like, and I believe also like a big people pleaser.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not gonna risk his mom's career. And then like when it comes to the whole like Carrie threatening to like out everything, and
Mm.
like the reason he goes through with it obviously is because he wants to protect Kit, and it's like um I think that's something that like anyone can kind of like really resonate with, which is just the fact where it's like it's so hard not to be liked by people. So yeah.
So for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm going to talk to the camera. This is a spoiler alert for the end of Next Door. You sing and play guitar at the end.
Yes.
What was that experience like to perform?
Oh yeah. Wow. Well, one, I was so excited. Because like I actually had just filmed, like, so that's another thing. I had just filmed a short that weekend before. So that Saturday and Sunday, I was in the desert, like shooting a short where I was like a cowboy, like
Mhm.
who also was a musician. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I landed a role, like where I get to sing and play guitar. And then I had booked next door, and
Mhm.
then they had sent just kind of like the first aid kit demo that I was learning everything off of, and I was like, oh wait, this is so awesome because
Mhm.
I just like I also like write music, and like that and like singing. Like anytime I have free time, I'm usually like kind of like strumming my guitar. So um, yeah, it was great. I will say though, when we went to go shoot it finally, it was like the second day of shooting, and it was in like Long Beach area, so like an hour away, and it was like our first scene of the day, so it was like 7 a.m. So I was like, I had no voice. I was like, this is gonna sound awful. I didn't have like usually when you're like, because I was singing live. Usually when you're singing live, you have kind of like an in-ear thing where like they'll like do a click track, and then they were like, no, like I don't think we're gonna do that. And then if it sounds bad, like we'll just go into the studio and like re-record it, and it'll be fine. Um, and so I had driven Nick to set that day, and so I'm like, I'm sorry, this is gonna be really annoying, but I need to like put on some some like vocal warm-ups. And so it's like I always use this one. It's like an Australian man. And he's like, "Welcome to your Aussie vocal coach," and like I'm just like la 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 like the entire hour way there. But it was nerve wracking because also like we had extras on set that day, and I obviously like wasn't super confident in the
Mhm.
health of my voice, but I just the song is really catchy. It's really good. I found myself singing it for like a month after we wrapped, and yeah, I think it was awesome. And then we did end up just because like because of the sound, it was only like a lapel mic and kind of like a boom, and it just wasn't sounding right mixed. So
Yeah.
we had ended up just like re-recording both the guitar and vocal parts in a studio, which was also cool. I felt like a little like pop
Mhm.
star with my like um, but yeah, it was great. I'm like I kind of want them to release it.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should have more vertical songs
Yeah.
released.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be great.
Yeah. So you've worked in theatre, you've done short films and verticals, and bring each of them brings a different relationship with the audience. Theatre is an instant reaction. Verticals and short films, you have to wait for that reaction. Which one do you prefer?
Mm. I think I want to say anything filmed because one, if it's bad, I can usually just click off of it. Um,
Yeah.
Two, I like having like a true like a way to like interact with people, you can do that with theater. Obviously, it is like more of an interaction, like in person. I'm sure
Mhm.
you feel more of a connection, but like unless you like do a stage door or um, I don't know. I especially the way that verticals work, where like they release, however many episodes online, you kind of get to see like people's like real time reactions to
Yeah.
certain things, and you get to see what they pick up on. Just because, like, I mean, like we had like River go through like a hair journey, where it was like when he was like the golden boy, his hair was like, just like he's keeping up his image. It's like whatever, and then once he finally like decides to stand up for Kit, and he punches Darius, and then his hair is like down, and he decides to keep it that way, and it's more like Kit. And then also like River wore mainly blue, and then Kit wore mainly red. But then like once they had their intimacy scene, like their underwear colors changed, um, which was like super cool. And like I love that type of stuff. I don't know if you've seen Obsession, if that's out in the UK, but
Was that the
it's
new
a
horror
new.
movie with
Yes, and it
Michael
was like
Johnston?
yeah, 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 and it was like there's the costumer online. She's on TikTok, and she kind of like talks about all of her intentional like choices through it, and it's so cool to like be on the receiving end of that. Like even like I got to keep this bracelet that River wears, and it's like it's red and blue, so like it kind of select, and you probably don't ever see it on screen, but it's just like it's super cool to like be a part of all those details.
Yeah, so what keeps you grounded and how do you stay true to yourself in this industry?
Um, I have like I guess this is like my first experience with like a wide audience like seeing something of mine. Um, and my life hasn't changed like one bit, other than like maybe a couple thousand followers on like social media. Um, I think one, and this is all gonna be hypothetical. So like
Go ahead.
once I make it to the big leagues, um, I'm just not gonna stop being friends with the people I'm friends with now. I'm really close to my family. Like I said, I'm one of six kids. Um, like I've gotten to travel home for work. I'm actually leaving Sunday to shoot a short back in Pittsburgh, so I get to see them, and it's like I that is the hardest part about pursuing this is it's not the lack of money, it's not like the constant working, it's not like the spending arm and leg on acting classes every month. It is like it's not being around the people I love the most. But I try to I call my parents every day, or at least text them every day.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I've never thought I was anything too special. So, just trying to do my best and act. That's what I want to do. That's what I love. So, hoping that that's enough to keep me grounded. And you know what? If I'm ever not, you can call me out. I'll hold you to it.
Okay, so before we get to the final part of my podcast that I do with every guest, what is
Mhm.
next for you? You just said you're going to film a short soon in Pittsburgh. Are we going to see music releases from you, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I'm working on an EP right now. Um, we'll see when that gets released. It's a process. I like work so much, like I'm on that day job grind. So I work so much, and it's just really tough to record. I have a lot of songs written. If you look on like I have a singing TikTok, Justin underscore Stanek. I have a lot of like covers, but also a lot of like original songs. So I'm trying to decide which ones to record. But yeah, I'm shooting a short. Our first block of shooting is this next week, and then we're shooting the last half of it in the fall at some point. And then yeah, I have another short that I was supposed to shoot this weekend actually, but location wise, it just kind of fell through. So I'll be doing that in July. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just shot a like a Volkswagen ad, um, which was great. But the um, female lead, Sabrina Michaels, she's awesome. We had like just met that day, but kind of had like been mutuals on Instagram, and she kind of inspired me to try to maybe write some of my own. So I've been trying to see if I can just kind of do like a 10-minute short. I really want to like one of my goals is I want to write a short in the way that Taylor Swift did the like All Too Well 10-minute version, like just kind of have like a story kind of built up around a song.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like and then you have a music video and a short film, and I can you have it's like a two for one there. But I'm really inspired by that, so hopefully that happens at some point.
Okay, so there's two more things that I do with every guest. And the first one is, who are your visions?
Yes.
So each guest gets the chance to share their own favorites across the different worlds of this podcast. Okay, so the first one is visions of TV. Could be an actor, an actress, or a television series that you love. or admire?
hmm So let's see. Well, Sophie and I, it's our goal to make it on to Overcompensating.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they are already filming. I think Sophie would be so good on it. So like, if she played like Haley Marie Matthews, like younger sister, like that'd be so funny. Anyway, like that or like Off Campus, I've been loving recently. But a performer, I would say probably like Dylan O'Brien, like like Teen
Yeah.
Wolf that era. Yeah, yeah,
I could see you in Teen Wolf, to be honest. Like if they do another
yeah. Thank
movie.
you. Yeah,
A vision of film. It's an actor, an actress, or a film that
yeah. A film. I think for me, like anything that Matthew McConaughey's in is just like it's so great. And also, I love a rom com. Like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is so good. I would have died to be in that movie. Yeah.
vision of music, an
Oh,
artist.
that's easy for me. Lizzie McAlpine. She is like I found her my like sophomore year of high school. Haven't stopped listening
Mhm.
to her. Yeah, she is awesome.
A vertical vision, which you were part of. Describe the Cheers scandal and Next Door in one word or phrase each.
Mm. The Cheers scandal, I would say. Mm, I would say I'm trying to think of the word for it. Um, like don't underestimate it, I guess. I think for me, like I'm gonna like harp on how good Kira Wisely is, but um, she is honestly like one of the best actresses I've ever like seen. I think she's awesome. Like we shot our first shot was like the party scene where they like kind of like out her as spoiler alert, the stripper. And and again because you have to do that scenes over and over and over again for coverage, and every time it was just like wow, she is good. So yeah, and then next door, um, refreshing,
Okay.
refreshing.
I'd agree
Yeah.
with that. I'd agree with that. Vision Book Club is an author or book you love if you read.
Yes, I'm trying to get back into it. Actually, for the one short I'm filming, it's based on a book, so I'm reading that. But I guess it's not released yet, so I can't really tell. But I would say Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games. Read them all when I was in second grade. Read them over and over again, and yeah, another like universe I would love to join at some point. Be the Hunger Games universe.
And you've worked in theatre, but who is your vision of theatre? So it's a theatre performer or a show that you love or you dream of being a part of.
Okay. I'll give you an answer for both. I'm a huge theater nerd. I would say Dream Show Waitress. I actually did just audition for the national tour, but I haven't heard anything back. And then um, a performer, probably like I'm gonna be basic and say Jeremy Jordan because like I admire him so much, and
Yeah.
I was 12 years old screaming Santa Fe when I couldn't or shouldn't have been. But also Rachel Zegler, I
Yeah.
admire her so much. She is like wow, just a wow. I saw
Mhm.
her in the last 5 years at the Hollywood Bowl with Ben Platt. Insane. Yeah, she's just such a talent, and seems like such a sweet, genuine person. So.
Did you see her in like clips of her from London's
Oh, Evita.
performance, Vita?
Uh, yes, I saw clips. Well, now it's transferring to Broadway, but I'm hoping I can make my way out there at some point
Yeah.
if I get the money for it. But yeah, she's just like wow, wow, wow.
Okay, and the final thing that we do is this or that.
Okay. I'm ready.
So I give you two options. You pick which is best suited to you. If you say both, you can say both.
Okay.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
Samsung or iPhone?
iPhone.
Book or movie?
Movie.
Gym or a spa?
A spa. Spa.
Okay. Alone time or time with friends?
Alone time. I love my alone time.
Yeah. Direct flight or road trip?
Direct flight.
Okay. Reality TV or documentary?
Documentary.
Okay. Podcasts or playlists?
Playlists.
Board games or video games?
Board games.
And that's the final one there.
Woo! Ding 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 ding. Did I win?
Uh, yeah. Justin, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an
Thank you.
amazing chat.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
I have. This was awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Again, this is just like another like I'm like, what? Someone asked me to be on a podcast? That's wild.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Justin. I hope to talk to you again.
Yeah, same here. All right. Well, have a good one. I appreciate it.